in the books with the spring game tonight. So I thought offensively moved the ball well most of the night. I thought we started really fast. I thought the defense did a really good job in the live scrimmage, kind of finding their bearings a little bit and getting some stops whenever they needed them. So, it's always a conflicting deal when you come out of there. You're happy with the good and you're frustrated with the bad. But it's a lot of good things this spring. I'm really pleased with our team and the strides that we've made. Certainly, we've got a long way to go to be game ready, be where we want to be. But you saw improvement in a lot of those things. Protected the passer a little bit better tonight. Which again, that's good and bad, right? I thought defensively, we did well against the run at times with the ones. We're not good enough against it overall. Got to strike, got to strain, win gaps. But I thought our offensive line really with both units did a good job. Quarterbacks, I thought, ran the offense really well and effectively. Overall, hopefully we get out of there. We had one guy who kind of got banged up, so hopefully, it's not going to be. It's just a sprain, and we'll have him back in June. We get ready to go. But was pleased with the way that we played with the young offensive line. Probably our third and our fourth tackle were out. I thought those young guys really did a good job. So a lot of good things in there. Certainly when we go back and watch, there's going to be a lot of things we got to do better. But, it's a productive spring.
Well, you've been telling us about Samori's arm talent. We saw some of that tonight.
Yeah, he did a good job, man. We simplified some things, with the white team on offense, and Coach Leger, called the white team's offense and did a good job kind of keeping it simple and running things that they knew and they understood. And some of it was RPO throws that he made good decisions on. But he operated really well, ran the ball effectively as well and ran the offense really well. So a lot of bright spots there. Certainly, it was good to see Rob make a play like that. That was kind of this spring. It was kind of, didn't have a bad spring, but just kind of, it was just, just wasn't Rob all the time. So to see him go make a play was huge. Something that gets you really fired up because, we've seen so many flashes from Rob. So that was big. John McCall's a guy we added to our team this year. He had a nice play down the field. He's done a good job with that, that third group in there and really understanding what we're doing. So, it was good to see some of those young guys make some plays down the field.
Anybody kind of pop out that maybe didn't have a good spring and all of a sudden impressed with a late showing in last practice?
The guys that you kind of expected to play well, it looked like did. It's kind of hard to tell. Maybe sometimes I was just kind of standing behind it. But, like I said, I think that was good for Rob to go out there and go make a play. When this spring probably hadn't been his best spring, but I think for him, hopefully you finish on a high note, kind of gives you a little bit of life and gets you going. But, I was, pretty pleased with, I thought it was kind of went the way that I thought it would a little bit.
He landed awkwardly. Did he just get the wind knocked?
Landed on the ball. Yeah, he just got the wind knocked out of him, so he was good.
Pretty big. Like what?
Chaz?
Yeah. If y'all, hopefully you're healthy, but what is standing between him and maybe getting some cap?
Well, and he does a good job. He's a guy we're not. In no way are we down on Chaz at all, or we like the kid. He's done a great job since he's been here. He's just behind three guys that were pretty good too. Draylon made some really good runs out there. Zylan's just hard to ever square up. Bill didn't really get going tonight, but Bill's had might have had the best spring. It's hard to say with those three guys. So, it's just tough. It's a tough room to crack. But you know how the season is. It's hard. It's hard to stay healthy all year, and Chaz is a guy that shows up and does the work every day, and he's a good back too, and he's done some good things for us. So, in no way are we down on him by any means. It's just he's kind of in a room. Cabote. You saw what he did kind of when he got his opportunities, just behind some guys that were, maybe just a little bit ahead of him at the moment.
So did Chandler talk him his way into a little more playing time, or is that what you meant when you were talking about not lie, like they couldn't hit him?
Yeah. No, I was planning on letting him go with those ones. I just didn't want him getting hit in the pocket. I'm really pleased with the spring that Chandler had. He did a really good job, and if I thought he needed it, we'd have done it. But, at this point, I was really pleased with the spring that he had. He's been in the fire. He's been in games. I think for Lunch and Samari, I think that was the best thing for them because, they're probably a little bit more like I was, than Chandler is and Ben is. They need a little bit of that to get going. And I think it got them going a little bit, and they made good decisions. And, I think that's part of their game is being able to run the football a little bit. And when you're that type of player, when that is taken away from you, it kind of affects the way that your ability to go out there and operate.
It sounds like the offensive line is not maybe as polished. Could having a new coach, is anything different? Was there an adjustment to be made there, or is that not really?
Well, I think the offensive line's performed pretty well this spring. I think we've run the ball really well. I think in pass pro, we flipped George to the left side, and then you got a new, right tackle in there, especially once Q and King, were out for the spring. And then you got, John Bragg is a redshirt freshman this year. Jamarian Gooch is just getting here. So, you got those guys at tackle that are blocking, some guys that I think have a chance to be really good pass rushers. Last year, for a time there, we were really getting after the passer. We were playing good when we were getting those run stops early and getting them into throwdowns. That's what we've got to do. We got to stop the run, get some negative plays where we can cut some of the pass rush guys loose. Because, Antoine Bayless is tough to handle on the edge. Jordan Lawson, you got Cam Whitfield who, he's a problem on the edge. You got a lot of those guys, Mason on the inside. You got a lot of guys that can really rush the passer. So I think it's just some of the youth there but we've got to get those guys, caught up and sped up and doing it a little bit better. But the run game has been great. I thought we ran the ball really well tonight, and that's something that when we run the ball effectively, the last, 9 years I've been here, when we run the ball effectively, we usually win the game. When we have a hard time running it, it doesn't matter. We have statistics that we keep with everything. When we run the ball for 185 more yards and we carry the ball 30 more times at running back, we win. It's almost 90-something percent, almost 100%. Doesn't matter how many pass yards we have. We could throw for 400, and that has no effect statistically on where we've been. So for us, that's where it's got to start, and that's where everything's built off of. Our play action, our throw game, our nakeds, our quick, everything is built off of that. So, for us, that's what my main focus is. We got plenty of time to work on the pass rush stuff and those guys to get experience, and they're going against good rushers every day. So I think they'll get there. But Steve and Bryant, Ross is still here. He's done a phenomenal job, with that room, kind of helping Steve get his feet wet in there and kind of getting everybody on the same page. And that group is a group that I'm excited about them for this year. We got that squad is back, and they played pretty good for us last year.
Anything else? So, how would I put this? Where do you say the team is? Maybe what phase is the team in now?
Well, the thing I told them is this, you start spring in a certain place, and in 15 days, certainly you should make a lot of progress, and that's the goal. And we've gotten a lot better, in 15 days. But if you do this thing right, you've never made it. And, May is their off time, and they're not going to be here in May. And, the challenge that I have for them is, if it's really important to you, then you take these 3.5 weeks and you work your tail off because everybody else in the country is off for those 3.5 weeks. If you just work when everyone else works, there's nothing that separates you. So for us, the thing is going to be is how bad do we want to change this thing? We talked about closing the gap, and we talked about tightening the screws, and the intensity and the urgency that we've asked for in practice, they have done it. It's been phenomenal. It's got to matter when they're on their own, and that can't change. It's what you want most versus what you want in the moment, right? If you really want this thing, then the next 3 weeks are important so that you come back here in June and you're ready to go. And then once you hit June, and the coaches, we can't be out there with them a whole lot. The intensity, the urgency, the standard that they set has to stay the same. So we're in a growth phase. We're always in a growth phase. And I think as soon as you stop feeling that way, then you're going to start going backwards. And for us, I'm pleased with as much progress we've made. We've got a mature veteran group coming back. They know what they want. Well, we've got to keep growing and keep working towards that because, if we do it right, I don't know when our first game is. I don't know what the day is. I haven't even looked. What day? August 31st. We got a long time between now and August 31st. So we got a lot of room to improve, and we got the opportunity to do that.
One more thing. You mentioned Amir a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like where
Amir's been hobbled a little bit. Amir sprained his ankle, and so he's been kind of Amir he's not going to not go. Like, that's just how he is. He's just a gritty dude. So he's played really good for us in the slot and nickel, and he's done a great job. The last week and a half, I think since the second scrimmage, he kind of sprained his ankle the day before that. And, of course, doesn't tell anybody, just keeps going. So we need to get him back healthy because when he's not a very big guy, so he's got to play fast and at that level, and whenever he's healthy, he's done a really good job for us. So Amir is one of those guys that's grown so much. I mean, God, if I could tell you some of the stories and some of the things and how far he's come, he's a different person now from what he was when he got here. And, his leadership role has grown. Our team respects the heck out of him. And he's played pretty good. When he's healthy and he can play active the way he needs to, he's a problem out there in the slot a little bit because he can do so many things.